Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President. And my question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Immigration, Senator Carr. And I refer to the current Prime Minister's statement on Radio 6PR on the 8th of July 2010, in which, when commenting on regional processing centres, she stated, "I would rule out anywhere that is not a signatory to the Refugee Convention." With the announcement by the government of its people swap deal with Malaysia, isn't this just another example of the Prime Minister saying one thing to win an election and then going back on her word once in power?
Minister representing the Minister for Immigration and Citizenship, Senator Carr.
Well, thank you, Mr President. Perhaps I can provide Senator Cash with some information that she's seeking. I can say that the government is sending a clear message to the people smugglers that they shouldn't bother coming to Australia by boat because we will not be processed here. The transfer arrangement undermines that the people smuggling business model will be completely undermined, and it will defer those who are trying to make the dangerous journey to Australia by boat. The discussions with Malaysia, advised Senator Cash, are well advanced. We're in the process of being finalised. The details. Well, Senator Cash asks about the role of the UNHCR. I'd indicate to Senator Cash that once in Malaysia, transferees will go into the mix for the processing alongside more than some 90,000 UNHCR registered asylum seekers or refugees already in Malaysia, and that the UNHCR will be involved in arrangements.
Resume your seat, Senator Carr. Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President. And it's pretty obvious that my point of order is going towards relevance, or rather irrelevance, when the Minister is actually concerned. The Minister clearly is reading the wrong brief, because he is not answering the question that I asked. My question was directly related to a statement made by the Prime Minister on Radio 6PR on the 8th of July 2010, where she stated, "I would rule out anywhere that is not a signatory to the Refugee Convention." In relation to the deal with Malaysia, isn't this just another example of the Prime Minister going back on her word?
There's no point of order. Senator Carr, there's no point of... Senator Carr, on my right. Senator Carr, you've got 46 seconds remaining to answer the question. Senator Carr.
Mr President, I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated.
Senator Carr, Senator Carr, Senator Carr, I just need you to address the question, not about your personal circumstances.
That's very rude of you to talk like that in the chamber, and I think, Senator, you should be have your attention drawn to the UNHCR spokesperson, who's indicated that we understand that the MOU, that is from the AMOU, the Australia's obligation under the Refugee Convention are not compromised, provided that the fundamental rights of asylum seekers and refugees are assured in Malaysia. What we've done with this agreement is, for the first time, get the UNHCR directly involved in discussions about the welfare of refugees in Malaysia. That is a very significant advance for refugees and for human rights.
Time's expired,
this
Senator
issue.
Carr. Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President. And talking about the welfare of refugees in Malaysia, given the Coalition can guarantee that no asylum seekers sent to Nauru will be subject to caning, can the government give the same guarantee in relation to asylum seekers that it proposes to send to Malaysia?
The new concern for refugees after all
Order. 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 Senator Carr.
Mr President, it is amusing. We have a senator here that would rip the wings off butterflies if she thought there was a vote in it, and wants to give us lectures on the moral welfare.
Senator Carr, I didn't hear. I heard your interjection, Senator Abetz. I must confess, I did not hear what was said. Okay. Senator Abetz.
Mr President, I am sure that on mature reflection, without needing to repeat the words, Senator Cameron will withdraw that which he accused Senator Cash.
Senator Abetz, I did not hear anything at all. One of the difficulties that I've expressed this afternoon from both sides, it just hasn't been one side of the chamber, both sides, has been the constant interjection which has made it very difficult. Senator Joyce, it has made it difficult to hear what some people are saying in this chamber, and that is not fair to either the person who's asked the question or the person who's answering the question. Senator Abetz has raised an issue with me now, and there was no way that I heard what was said or purportedly said in the chamber. So, Senator Cameron.
Mr President, I withdraw.
All right. Thank you very much. Senator Carr, continue.
Mr President, Malaysia has made a firm commitment to treat asylum seekers who are transferred with dignity and with respect and in accordance with the human rights standards, and that appropriate protections will be in place for those that are transferred. Now, Senator Cash knows that. What she's seeking to do is a newfound commitment to human rights for refugees. It truly is a galling speech to have to listen to from that quarter. What we have got is the clear undertakings from the Malaysian government. The Australian government is concerned to ensure that asylum seekers are treated with respect and they're treated with dignity, and that's what will happen under the terms of these arrangements.
Senator Cash.
Senator, my final supplementary. With the signing by Nauru of the United Nations Refugee Convention and the fact that Malaysia is not a signatory to the convention, when will the government admit that Nauru is a more humane and cost-effective and certainly proven option as an asylum seeker processing centre compared to Labor's still unsigned people swap deal with Malaysia? And in relation to the Minister's statement, is the statement made by the Prime Minister of Malaysia worth more than a statement made by the Prime Minister of this country?
Senator Carr.
Thank you. Mr President, the centre on Nauru, of course, is not part of any cooperative regional approach, because it would put simply, it doesn't change the business arrangements that suit the people smugglers. What happened with Nauru was that the people that were unfortunately transferred all end up back in Australia. And what the opposition has failed to face up to is the fact that their proposition has always meant that those people end up in Australia. And what we would see here is a direct incentive to the people smugglers to continue their evil trade. So, Senator Cash, you're suddenly found concerns for the welfare of refugees cuts no ice here. We know what the record of the Liberal government was. We know what abuses they inflicted on people. We know the psychological damage that was inflicted on the people that ended up in Nauru. And we know that the proposition you are putting is a load of hogwash, because it's about supporting the people smugglers.